The other day, I saw the trailer for Total War Warhammer 40k, and to be honest, I'm quite excited for that game. So I did a deep dive into all the information I could find about the game, and let me tell you, we have a lot of information, especially some exclusive interviews, plus an interview that the developers did in German. And I was able to find on Reddit the full interview translated. So we're going to discuss everything that we know about Total War Warhammer 40k. Let's get started. Let's start with the most basic information that we know, and that is the factions that we're going to be able to play as. Currently, there are only 4 confirmed factions that are going to be available when the game launches. Those being the Space Marines, Orcs, Eldari, and the Astra Militarum. And what about the rest of the factions, you might be asking yourself? Do not worry, it has been confirmed by the developers that the rest of the factions will come at a later point.
But I think the next thing is, deciding who we can do now, who we're going to do in the future. Obviously, as you say, we picked the 4 factions, right? We've got Space Marines, Astra Militarum, Orcs, and Eldari. They are like our core start, right? Like they're the ones we want to begin with. But over time, we are going to deliver the other factions, right? We are going to deliver more of those different kind of gameplay styles and different experiences that you'll play with, because they're all going to play very differently. Because
as you can see, guys, you don't have to worry. The rest of the factions will be introduced into the game at a later point. Also, if you go into their website, you will see a question that somebody left. Where are the Chaos Space Marines? And they simply answered that they will be introduced at a later point. So don't worry, we will see the Tyranids, Chaos Space Marines, Tau, Gene Stealers, etc. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, that your favorite legion / chapter is going to be introduced later. Well, not entirely. The developers have said that customizing and personalizing your own army is going to play a big part in this game, meaning that if you want to build the Salamanders as your army, you definitely can. If you want to build the Blood Angels as a pure melee army, you absolutely can. This also includes for the rest of the factions, meaning if you want to play as the Fast Boys, aka the Orcs using pure vehicles, you can. If you're going to play as the Dark Eldar, you also can do that. And that's definitely what I'm going to be playing as, simply because I love the Dark Eldar. Yes, call me a sick freak.
I think for me it is the customization. I know I've literally just mentioned it, but it keeps coming back as this thing, right? Like everything comes back to this fact that I'm controlling all that. If I want to have a Space Marine faction that's more about kind of fire mechanics, like I want flamethrowers and melters everywhere, I can make that. I can make a faction that's leaning into that. Yeah, and I think the kind of personalization of your kind of faction, its units, its style, it's even down to its mechanics, right? You're creating your faction, right? You're making something unique and personal to you, obviously attached to, hopefully, but I think that adds so much to us. Like I haven't seen anyone else really kind of going to quite the depths that we do. Like you can have different pattern types, you can have kind of different left and right color, you can set your pauldron, or like kind of your knee, sorry, pauldron's up there. You can set your kneecap to a different color, you can have different decals around your faction. If you want to be a kind of like a, kind of an Ultramarines fanboy and have kind of like the sigil of Ultramar everywhere, you can do that. It's really fun.
As you can see, you don't have to worry. You're going to be able to customize and personalize your army to suit your style and create your favorite legions / chapters. Now do keep in mind that it won't be possible to create all the legions / chapters. What do I mean by this? Simply that I highly doubt that they're going to be able to introduce the Black Dragons or the Raptors, simply because those are mutations. Possibly they will be added as DLC if enough people ask them, but again, I highly doubt it. Now let's talk about campaign / story modes. The galaxy map is going to work as your HUD / menu, where you will be able to select which campaigns you want to do. Now, the campaigns are divided into 3 types. The first one being full campaigns, the second one short campaigns, and the third one single decisive battles. Let's start out with the smallest one, and that is the single battles. As the name says it, it's only going to be one battle, and it highly depends on which one you select. 1 second you could be defending a hive city, and the next one you could be trying to take over a space station, etc, etc, etc. Now let's go on to short campaigns. Short campaigns will require you to take over different planets, somewhere between 2 to 4 planets. Each planet will have different continents. Each continent is the size of a province from other Total War games. And the last one is full campaigns. In this one, it requires you to take over a full star system. Now, a star system is going to have anywhere between 4 to 7 planets. How do we know this? The developers have said that full campaigns will require a full weekend, so it's logical to think it's going to have anywhere between 4 to 7 planets. Now, whatever you do in these campaigns will affect the next campaign that you do. What do I mean by this? The developers have said that, for example, in one campaign you are required to defend a hive city and keep the Imperial Guard alive. If you are only able to defend the city and are not able to save the Imperial Guard, you will not be able to use them as reinforcements in your next campaign. And the same thing happens vice versa. If you are able to defend the Hive City and keep the Imperial Guard alive, you will probably have them available as reinforcements in your next campaign. Now, this does happen for each one of the factions. This means if you complete an Orc campaign and now you're going to do a Space Marines campaign, you will now probably face more resistance from the Orcs. So deciding which campaign you're going to complete first will affect the rest of the campaigns.
There's going to be big campaigns that do just that. If you want to shut yourself away for the weekend and play a massive campaign, or if you've got an evening, you can play one of the smaller campaigns in our flashpoint system, and that will have an effect in the theatre too.
And you can even just play battles if you wish.
That's right.
Even on the area, there are these kind of strike battles, these very vital conflicts you need to win, where you can just send in your customized troops. I do love customization. But send in your customized troops, just fight a battle if you want.
For conflict with factions fighting one another. And in these key areas, you are fighting in systems. You're also sometimes just fighting pivotal battles as well. And that's the idea behind it, is you now have a context for it. It's not just a campaign and it's a one and done thing and you had great fun and it's over. It's a campaign, you had great fun, look what it's done to your next steps. What campaigns trigger from that? What battles come from it? How do you advance your faction after that? So when you go into the next campaign, maybe you are more prepared or even more powerful than you were previously.
Now, let's talk about planets and their sizes. As I said before, a planet's going to be divided by continents, and the continents are about the size of Province from other Total War games. Something to keep in mind is that the developers in their German interview said that a planet is like a mini Total War campaign. This means that it's smaller than a short campaign, but bigger than a decisive battle. The main objective of the planets is going to have you taking over cities. Now, you will not be able to build cities in this game. Instead, you're going to be relying on building outposts and bases, but cities will still play a big part. Cities will be where you're going to be able to make/recruit more units. So they did emphasize that while cities have taken a backseat, you will still need them to grow your army and to recruit new units. Now, the last thing that we have to talk about is the galaxy map. The galaxy map is going to work sort of as a menu where you're going to be able to select which campaigns you want to play. The galaxy map is divided into different sectors, and each sector contains different star systems. We're not sure exactly how many star systems each sector has, but it has to be somewhere between 2 to 6 star systems. So the size of the galaxy map is quite big. Again, that's what she said. How you're going to be able to move from one area to another or to one system to another is going to be through your fleets. How many fleets you're going to be able to have at one time is unknown, but the best way to describe the galaxy map is basically if you've ever played Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005, if you remember the Galaxy/Conquest map, that's basically how it's going to work. And personally, it was one of the best modes of that game, so I'm quite excited to see how they're going to do it with Total War Warhammer 40k.
Well, okay, I think the main thing here for us is scale. It's a fundamental Total War franchise pillar for starters, but we've taken it so much further with this game. I mean, you literally hear the stuff Dave's talking about. You've got units and single entities on a battlefield down there on the ground, and right from there and the scale of the battles up to the scale of a region of a planet, to multiple planets in a system, to multiple systems across an entire galaxy. And that's huge even for Total War scale. And it's like we are over the next years going to develop this out and all the content and everything that fills up that galaxy. But the gameplay and the decisions you make and the way you interact with the game is literally right from down there all the way across the galaxy.
And that's pretty much all the information that we have for Total War Warhammer 40k. If you're interested in watching the interviews or reading the interview that they did in German, I'm going to leave the links in the description below. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, guys. It means the world to me. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.